In this section today, we shall be discussing the position of the law in respect of the licensing of pharmacies and over-the-counter medicine sales license. We shall be looking at what the law says about registration of pharmacies, the process of registering a pharmacy, the process in registering over-the-counter medicine sales license, and what the law says about registration of hospital pharmacies. Part 4 of the Health Professions Regulatory Bodies Act 2013 at 857 clearly gives Pharmacy Council the mandate to license facilities to engage in retail sale of medicines. In this regard, if you look at section 93 of the Act, it states that the board may grant a license to a corporate body or government institution if it is satisfied that it can mix, compound, prepare, or supply restricted medicines under the supervision of a pharmacist. So the board will have to look at conditions before granting the license to the corporate body or government institution. To register a pharmacy, the body, corporate or government institution will have to apply to the Pharmacy Council. We have a form that they have to complete. And it is clear that you have to have a registered company before you can apply to have a Pharmacy Council. And the company should be a limited liability company that has, as part of its nature of business, dealings in pharmaceuticals. Once you have that, you apply to Pharmacy Council using our form, and you attach relevant documents from the Registrar General's department. So you present the completed form, which has a section for a superintendent pharmacist. That has to be completed, and then you submit to any of our regional offices dotted around the country. Once you submit the application, you'll be issued with a receipt, a Government of Ghana receipt with a Pharmacy Council stamp on it. And then officers will look at your document. We have a checklist that they have to look through. Once the checklist is completed, your application is deemed to be satisfied, and forward processing is thus continued. Now, our regional officers will go and inspect the site, what we call site inspection, to be able to determine where you want to site the facility. And I want to state that it can be a bare land. You can present a bare land as your initial place for the pharmacy. It doesn't really matter. Once we know where you want to have it, we do some checks which are clearly stated in our policy. We do the checks, and then you are invited for interview to meet the pharmaceutical facility technical committee, which has been constituted by the board. Once you go through this process and everything is deemed to be okay, you are issued with an approval letter. And if everything is not okay, you are issued with a disapproval letter. Once you also have the approval letter, and your place is ready, you are given 6 months to prepare your place for final inspection. And once you are ready and you write to the register that, look, I'm ready and I want my place to be inspected for me to take off, our officers will come to your site, conduct the final inspection, and then you are good to go and practice pharmacy in your facility. This is basically the processes involved in registering a pharmacy. We come to that of over-the-counter medicine sellers. And if you look at section 94 of the Act, it also states that the board may grant a license to an over-the-counter medicine seller once the person is fit to carry on a business of supplying restricted medicines other than pharmacy-only medicines and prescription-only medicines by retail. What it means is that the over-the-counter medicine sellers are strictly asked to supply only Class C medicines. They cannot supply prescription-only medicines and pharmacy-only medicines. They also apply through our offices. We have an application form that they take and they complete the application form. The qualification is a minimum of senior high school certificate. So you apply through our offices, you pay an amount of 500 cedis at the bank, you submit your form, completed form, together with a sworn affidavit and copies of your educational certificates to the office. And then you go through the same process of site inspection, after which a screening is done and people are invited for exams and interview to test their basic knowledge in medicines. Once they go through, they are also issued with approval letters. And when they are ready, they apply to the registrar and final inspections are conducted. But in their case, after they have been issued with the approval letters, Pharmacy Council organizes a pre-licensing training for would-be practitioners. What it means is that we take them through the rudiments of Class C medicines and how they should go about their daily work in the over-the-counter medicine facilities. Once they go through that, they are then good to go and they start their operations. In the case of the over-the-counter medicine sellers, we look at some special conditions. The facility should be in a deprived area where there is no adequate pharmaceutical services. That is a condition precedent to allowing them to operate over-the-counter medicine sellers facilities. So, and it has to be about 1,000 meters from the nearest facility. You also sometimes see that we have over-the-counter medicine sellers very near to a pharmacy. When you apply for over-the-counter medicine sales license, we look at every condition. But once a pharmacy applies and there is an over-the-counter medicine seller there, we don't take it into consideration because we want quality pharmaceutical care to the people. And pharmacies can supply all classes of medicines to the populace, but over-the-counter medicine sellers supply only Class C. So a pharmacy can come nearer to an over-the-counter medicine seller, but an over-the-counter medicine seller cannot come near to a pharmacy. What does the law say about the registration of hospital pharmacies? If you look at section 93 of the Act, it says the board may grant a license to a corporate body or a government institution. So all hospital pharmacies will have to be registered by Pharmacy Council. And Pharmacy Council is in the process of doing that. Thank you.